Hello everyone, and welcome back to Red Dragon. We are playing on Mudfight, 2v2 game between myself and Union against Maple and Wombat Da Combat spelled backwards. I'm recording this at the personal request of Wombat, as it was a nice sequel to our earlier match, and it's recorded a little bit out of order, so this did take place a little bit ago. I'm playing as Red Dragons, and my intention is to have an aggressive push toward the woods here on the far end of Fetter, and use that to cut off my opponent's route. But Wombat is coming in with a couple of helicopters. My ally, by the way, is playing as Baltic Front, going to be fighting in Anna and Dimitri. And those Lynxes, I don't have anything that far forward to deal with them other than an HQ7. I mean, I guess it's not too bad, really. The Hwasong Chungs were there as well, but they didn't get their Eagles online. And look at this column from Wombat. This is just incredible. I think he's playing as Commonwealth. Could just be Aussie. Right there, that just looks like Aussie. Well, either way, I mean, the left to us, yeah, that's going to be Canadian, so yeah, okay, it is Commonwealth. And I am unloading a little bit early here, trying to get to the woods. We might be able to do it, but I don't have a huge answer for this. I mean, a lot of Jeeps here, a lot of recon units, Ferrets leading the way, Oslov 25s leading the way as well, and I'm trying to ambush with the ZTQs. They can get some decent firepower online if they hit. But, I mean, the accuracy is not great on these guys. 50% plus veterancy does not add to very much. And a J7H is going to be coming in, trying to get some sort of damage, but it looks like it's a little bit early, and it kills a Ferret. So all of that, we kill a single Ferret, J7H coming in. Here's the second round, and that has a bit more potential landing. Yeah, okay, lots of dead rovers, lots of all of that, but, well, I've lost WZ-551, I've lost a ZTQ-62G, and my ATGM vehicle is losing its vision. I don't have enough scouting over here. It's a really big problem. T-90S also getting ambushed by SBS and Gurkhas, while Tornado's coming in to deal with my infantry while I'm not looking. So that was pretty crazy, and now I mean, there's a stormer over that way as well. I'm getting just pushed by Wombat really hard here. In the meantime, Union is having a bit better luck against Maple, so we have Yakri securing the town here. We have a good push into Anna, Yakri leading the way. I don't really know why they're not Yakri 90. That seems like probably the better choice everyone tends to go for, but Seaplane killed by two automatics. Very nice micro there from Maple. So I'm calling in another ZTQ here. I shouldn't have spent on those planes, more than likely. They were not quite worth it, and more to the point, even if they were, strictly speaking, point for point worth it, they didn't solve my problem, which is all of the infiltration over here. So WZ-550 using as a last ATGM there, but with good success, and the ZZZ able to defend himself just a little bit, but that did tell my opponent where that is. I've lost my T-90S as well, so if we take a look at what's left on the field, for me, it's not very much. Wombat is just brutal at this game, and, well, I'm paying the price. I mean, it's even going after J7Cs and J7Hs. This deck, by the way, has gone through some modest revisions since then, with the help of rather suspiciously Canadian fellow, so I'm a little bit more happy with it now than I was while this game's being played. ZZZ survives with a single point of health, so that armor is worth something, and I'm going to be retreating him back and up onto the top of the field. Need to get more points on the field, need to get more units on the field, but a Bontank Fago is going to be fending off a Wolverine here. One of these two missiles should be enough, and yep, there it is, dead vehicle. So a nice kill there from that Bontank Fago, but we don't have much in Dimitri. There's a large pressure by Maple here, so triple stack of Leopard 2A4s, of course, 130 points, but you get pretty decent performance for that, I guess. 19 frontal, 19 AP, 9 rounds per minute. Nothing exceptional, of course, it's the Leopard line, but it's doing the trick. And I do like this cap by Union. I only wish there was a little bit more fire support up here. The KTs are pretty excellent, but these Meridas are spotted, and they're in the woods, but they are spotted, which means there's something over here spotting them. And those Leopard 2A4s are probably going to have a nice time dealing with those Meridas. So my bombers are just coming in again and again and again, but this is a bit of a problem as I do lose one of them to AA that's over on this side of the field. And if you're ever in this situation, that's how to know you fucked up. Because, well, my planes are getting shot down over what's supposed to be my own home zone. Although I really think this map is a little bit lopsided. Center is a bit easier to secure than Fetter. But if it's a back and forth over the middle of the map, then Fetter gets to be easier to hold. It's just the early game, I think, tends to favor the other side just a little bit. We do manage to unload here, and those Oslovs will get taken out by WZ-551s and Lee Ren, with ZTQ-62G getting a little bit ahead of himself and taken out, unfortunately. And if we take a look at what did that, that's going to be Commandos 90, very good infantry, and the mini-me is turned off while they were engaging with a vehicle. Very nice move there. So Vickers Mark 11s, and honestly, this is pretty scant from both sides on this side of the field. This has been a pretty brutal fight. I am, of course, on the losing end of it just a little bit, and unfortunately those bombing runs didn't solve that. I probably should have waited just a little bit to make contact, and then come in with the bomber, and that's what you see right now, the J7H with that 1,000-kilogram bomb, hopefully able to do something to these commandos, but they are force moved out of the way, and I'm curious. Yes, they were taken out by that second bomb, so probably should have done the first one, and a double stack of Vickers Mark 11s. I mean, these guys are brutal vehicles, because they are vehicles, not tanks. They do have tires, not tracks, and that main tank gun is damn nice. So, my command tank up here is spotted again, and everything is converging on it. The Vickers immediately moving toward it. You can see my PGZ is spotted as well. I should have moved him back immediately upon that spot, but looking over on the left-hand side, in fact, the Leopards did collapse on this side, and the T-55s paid the price. So now you have a bit of a problem, because Maple is cutting through here. The Yekri and the Iroquois Yekri are a little bit cut off. Good potential with the Iroquois there, but they're not able to get line of sight through the woods. And the Spike team, this is tough. They should have vision right here, but they don't. They're a little bit too far. Ooh, no, the spike's turned off. Interesting. Not really sure why that is. I mean, yes, counterfire is going to be a thing, but you kind of need to start fending off those tanks and make it seem like there's a steep price to pay, and spike teams are a way of doing that. So, more losses on the left as well, more losses on the right. Leopard AS1 pluses coming in. These guys, of course, pretty decent tanks for 55 points. 8 frontal armor is nothing to be too proud of, but the 10 rounds a minute, 16 AP power is what people buy these for. It is very nice. The 55 points price tag. Double stack of Wolverines is identified, FE432, and I wondered at the time if this was a bait. I doubt that Wombat is unaware that these are spotted. So I was sitting there going, well, that could be a bait. I'm not really sure what's going on. I kind of wish that I had more in the town here, but everything has been killed. My PGZ has been killed, and the Vickers and the Leopards are just combining to make my life a living hell. Now, a couple different choices pulling things out to the map on this game would have made a big difference. I'm buying way too much in planes, and I don't have nearly enough of a ground presence here, so that is an issue. But I'm trying to fix that with a couple of Chanmaho 5s, 180 points worth of tanks, and it was probably a bait there. So we do get the Vickers Mark 11s, but I lost the J7H. So the Vickers are done. That is 90 points, so technically speaking worth it. But the Tracked Rapier FSA, it's not visible to me right now, but there it is back there, and actually Wolverine's getting the kill. Really annoying. That was a bit of a come and bomb me, and definitely nothing bad will happen to you, right? Wink wink, nudge nudge, never trust that. If you think there's something that's obvious against a really good player, then it's probably on purpose. My ZCZ is still alive, but not really doing all that much. I should have had him back at the FOB repairing by this point, but, well, it was a bit of a stressful situation. I did the best that I could at the time. Spike team sparring with Jaeger, and even though it's 1-to-1, worried versus panicked. Oh, did they actually get the kill? No, doesn't quite look like it. KT's trying to engage, taken out by a couple of Martyr 2s. But, I mean, Spike vehicle, 40 points, gets a kill on a Martyr 2, it's very nice. Not quite worth it, 10 points difference there, and the Martyr 2 is just a wonderful infantry fighting vehicle when used properly, which, I don't know. This is leading the way, but it's leading the way after a long engagement, so they can be relatively sure of having a decent time with the Martyr 2s. And you can see Wombat actually has units all the way through Oslov PCs, threading right through Elena over toward Anna. It's a sign of bad things to come. And Union's trying to help me out on the right-hand side here, so a couple of spike vehicles, 40-point spike vehicles there. Lee Ren are spotting for them, but now the issue is also in the air. Lynx H7s will chew these guys up. No real armor on these. I mean, 1 armor all around, but the Sneb rocket pods on those guys are very nice. SU-22 M4 called in, and yep, here it is, Lynx H7. That's the first volley. Second volley on the way here in just a second, and 35 points. Just got 80 points worth of kills on the ground, so very nice there for Wombat, and another one just showing what these guys can do. I tend to see a lot of people bring them sort of in the beginning of the game, and what you're going to do is you're going to run into enemy air defenses there. It can be a bit of a problem. But my Chanmaho is actually engage SAS. Oof. But what I was saying, I think it's more of this sort of situation where you've strategically taken out your opponent's air defense. They're really good to augment a push. It's almost, if I was playing a card game, I'd call them, if I was playing Magic, I'd call them a win more card. right? But they're a very, very deadly win-more card at that. In fact, helicopters tend to be sort of that way just because they are so vulnerable to lots of defenses on the ground. My TY-90 unfortunately swings 0 for 2 on his first 2 shots there. Not a lot of chance of that happening. He is an up-vetted TY-90 going after Lynx H7, but, I mean, sometimes it happens, and you can see the Maddies coming in from Union trying to stem the tide, but Wombat is fully entrenched on my side of the field. It's almost like we're pushing into his defenses now, but 22 M4 gets a kill, tracked rapiers go off and take it down. Oof. Deadly, deadly blow. And you can see, I mean, Union was already struggling on this side, so by not being able to push Wombat out of Fetter, I've sort of dragged the team down with me, because points that were desperately needed in Dimitri and Anna have been allocated elsewhere. So that was a difficult thing to have to do there. And the TY-90 does get a kill, but now we're flying over SBS because I'm an idiot, apparently, and they do take him down. So I'd wondered if there was something scouting over there for a while because of the spotted ATGM vehicles, and it turns out, yes, SBS, very, very deadly recon special forces. So Taylor going to be shooting in, but Maple is, I mean, that's a pretty heavy investment. We have a bomber taking out most of the Kartanyekri, and the amount of fire support here is pretty tremendous. M41A1's, of course, very nice 10-point recon tank. Not a lot of investment here, but you get good optics. It's not great. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but for 10 points you get a gun and some optics. What more do you want, right? And lots of people you'll see quad stacking them and going forward, and they'll basically munch through infantry formations unsupported by other things. So let's say I had a couple of heavier tanks behind here or an ATGM helicopter back behind that M41A1. You screen the way for them. These guys eat tank shots and, well, yeah, they'll die, but that's fine. That's what they're there for. It's a brutal, brutal style of combat. Maddie does get taken out by Commandos 90, and you can see nothing is left on this side of the board other than a single very, very late counterattack and bringing out more infantry and bringing out some scout tanks. I had built up a fair number of points just because I didn't really know what to do. And this is what I'm trying to spend it on, trying to get some control over the ground again. But now, I mean, KWSs are coming out from Maple. We have lost control of the skies here. We do get a cheeky shot in and a tracked rapier, but it's a swing and a miss as it's turned off at the last second with the Phoebus missile, not able to get any good contact. But we do see SBS here. The recon tanks do have some ability to scout. I mean, infantry in woods shouldn't be... they're not in the woods. Yeah, it's tricky sometimes this close to the edge of the map. Sometimes the computer doesn't like to send things where you're telling it to have them go. So the SBS think they're in the woods, and they're probably not. But you can see Maple's attack is going through Anna. T-55 Maddie's pretty good choice here. I like that a lot. 17 AP power will be enough to really punish even the heavier tanks in this formation if they're not looking. And in fact, there goes one of them just then. So nice kill. Ooh, no, that was infantry. That was a fire support vehicle. These are 2 automatics, and I'm curious to see what they can do. Maddie's backing up. This is something that's interesting. You need these guys to sit still. 15% stabilizer, that's just abysmal. But 76% accuracy, 80% accuracy, and pounding into the 2A4, I would have expected a bit better contact, but I guess 19 frontal armor against 17 AP power, and they're not really doing all that well. So I don't know, a bit disappointing, that performance from the Maddies, but that's nothing that Union was doing wrong per se, it's just sort of how it goes. We are getting some nice fire in, and my opponent's infantry are moving back, but it's going to be a little bit too late. 162 points to 0 here, and I mean, even if we get a decent push, there's Leopard C2 Mexuses. I'm not sure the ZTQs can stand up to these guys. 85 points, more frontal armor, better AP power, better rate of fire. Actually, no, same AP power. Interesting. But the better rate of fire is notable, and the armor is much better on the C2 Mexus. Commandos 90 taking a pounding, but it's really just a moral victory for us at this point. If I had some ATGMs over here, it would be pretty nice, but I don't even have air defense, and here come the AH-7s once again, making use of it. They'll mulch my infantry in the open ground. There you go, one more kill, and they'll even be able to do decent, I mean, panicking, damaging the ZTQs, so it really just was a tough situation, getting tougher and tougher. So, that's about all we've got. There's another minute or so of, ooh, geez, that was bad. There's about another minute or so of that last counterattack failing a little bit, and then it's going to be a surrender from my side of the board, as Dimitri is secured for the Blue 4 team. So, thank you guys for hanging around, and of course, many thanks to Wombat Da Combat and Maple Syrup for a pleasant game. We'll have another video for you real soon.